Hello everyone, today I am going to teach you how to use Distronic Adaptive Cruise Control in a Mercedes-Benz, along with a couple of the other features. We will talk about the stop and go assist and the lane change assist. So the basics for using the Distronic: step one, you push this button on the steering wheel right here. It may look slightly different for you depending on the model that you have. This happens to be a 2024 GLE 350. You push this on off button to turn the system on, and then once you get up to speed, you press set on either side there, and then the plus will increase your speed, the minus will decrease your speed. If you just hit plus with abandon, it increases it pretty quickly, but pay attention there. It'll show you what it's set at right here on the screen, that little grayed out 35. Once you have the speed set, this button right here will change the following distance between you and the car in front of you, and then the resume button resumes if you have come to a stop, or you can tap the gas. If the stop and go assistant is active, which means you've been driving on a highway and you've reached highway speeds and then you go below 37, then when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, it will start moving again within 60 seconds of coming to that complete stop. If you don't have the stop and go either active or equipped on the car, you may have to intervene much sooner than that. Pressing cancel cancels the Distronic, and then of course you can also just hit the brake pedal to do the same thing. So those are the basic buttons of how you use it. Push that to turn it on, push that to set your speed, increase the speed, decrease the speed, change the following distance, resume, cancel, etc. So with all that being said, let's take it out on the road and try it out. Okay, so now we are out on the road. We are going to press the little on-off button on the steering wheel to turn the Distronic on. We are going to press set to set our speed, and I'm going to increase my speed so I keep up with the flow of traffic. I'm going to adjust my following distance to make it slightly shorter. The vehicle in front of me is coming to a stop, and we are stopped, and now we are moving again because we weren't stopped long enough. So that was the car doing all of that work for me. Since I pressed the set button, I have not had my foot on the gas pedal or the brake pedal, so we are officially using the Distronic now. With the Mercedes system, it's kind of interesting. A lot of cars are more clear about when you are locked onto the car in front of you. All the Mercedes does is give you this green line on the speedometer, at least on this car with the digital speedometer. And so when the car in front of you is going slower, then the green line will be below your speed and you'll slow down, which is going now. And if it's going faster, then the green line will be above your speed and the car will speed up. You see right here, we have now matched the green line, so we are pacing the car in front of us. That's really the only indication you have from the car that you are locked onto the vehicle in front of you, at least in this model. And again, this is a 2024 GLE 350, and it does have the driver assistance package, so this was an optional feature on this vehicle. Check your spec sheet. Your Mercedes may or may not have this feature, or they're of course have made different versions of it over the years. This one also has something called stop and go. That probably won't come into play now, but when the car senses that it's in a traffic jam at speeds below 37 miles per hour, it can start itself moving again after being stopped for 60 seconds. Which is a handy feature, and this is where the system does its best work right now. We're just kind of creeping along at low speeds, and now it is going to accelerate. The car in front of me is getting out of my way, and now here's something to pay attention to. The light ahead of me has turned yellow, and now it has turned red, and I am going to hit the brake. If I had not hit the brake right there, we would have run the red light, because this version of Mercedes Distronic does not read red lights. So this is not a full self-driving system. You still need to pay attention. You need to keep your eyes on the road, be aware of your surroundings, keep your hands on the steering wheel. This car has the lane change assist, which I'll demonstrate for you later on the highway. But even though that is hands-free, the rest of it is not. It's kind of a little bit of an anomaly in the system. So for now, we will just sit here at the stoplight and wait patiently for it to turn green. A couple other things to keep in mind. Keep a close eye on what type of vehicle you are following. The example that I always use is a flatbed delivery truck with nothing on the bed of the truck. Is your car locked onto the actual rear of the vehicle, or are you locked onto the back of the cab? So pay attention to that. Make sure you're not too close to the car in front of you. This Mercedes has locked onto a motorcycle just fine, but I'm always a little nervous using cars with adaptive cruise control to follow motorcycles. I prefer not to do it just because there's not a lot of margin for error there if the car's computer messes that up. And we have a green light, so we're going to press resume on the steering wheel. And it's telling me to put my hand on the wheel, even though it already is. And the car is accelerating on its own. I do not have my foot on the gas. Here goes a cop now. If he decided to cut me off, this cop, I'm actually going to brake because I don't want to follow him too closely. If he decided to cut me off right there when he was right on my flank, I would have hit the brakes, because this car primarily looks forward. And now I'm going to hit resume to resume the cruise control function. And we can see that it's active due to the green line there. This car primarily looks forward. The peripheral vision is not the best. So if it's not that it has a problem with it, it's just if someone cuts you off really close and slams on the brakes, the car may not have enough time to react to it. You can react to that faster. So in that situation, just hit the brakes. Again, you know, this is not meant to be a self-driving system. You still need to pay attention to the road conditions and everything else. I typically don't use this system on surface streets unless I am filming one of my how-to videos, because traffic comes to a stop more reliably with the traffic lights. I do have adaptive cruise control in a couple of my personal vehicles, including one of which that's an older Mercedes that does have the Distronic, and I typically use it on the freeway in medium to heavy traffic situations. In my opinion, that's where it does its best work, and it really shows the most value. And if you have this system in the car, I highly recommend you trying it out. Don't really recommend using it in bad weather conditions. If it's raining a little bit, that's fine, but then you may want to push this button here to extend out the following distance a little further so that the car has more time to react, since it does take longer to stop in the rain. And if it's heavy rain or snow or ice, I don't recommend using it at all. I would say at that point you need to be in full control of the vehicle and paying as much attention as possible. Not that you shouldn't be paying attention when you're using the adaptive cruise, but let's see, that car is going to get out of my way. We have a green light here, but you really should be paying attention when it's icy. So don't use it in the ice. And we are just cruising now. So here's the deal. I have my speed set to a maximum speed, and I'm not going any faster than that now. There is a car in front of me, but he's way up ahead. So I'm not locked onto him because he's too far. Now, if I change lanes, if this car's going a little bit slower than me, and he gets out of my way. So if a car gets in front of you that's going slower, then the Mercedes will lock onto it and slow down. But the cool thing about adaptive cruise is that you can just use it as regular cruise control, because when you have the speed set at a maximum and there's nobody in front of you, then it just cruises. It just goes at the speed you have it set at. One thing to keep in mind about this Mercedes adaptive cruise control system is it's pretty sensitive to the posted speed limit. So if you enter like a zone with a new speed limit, even though traffic conditions haven't changed, if you have your adaptive cruise speed set higher than the new limit, it will adjust it and slow it down. It's pretty aggressive about that. It hasn't done it to me actually on this particular drive, but it did it to me a bunch the other night when I was doing my fuel economy test on this car. So keep an eye out for that. But basically, that's the basics. That's how you use it. You push that button to activate it, press set, and then press resume when you need to. Cancel cancels. You can also hit the brake to get it moving again. You can also just tap on the gas pedal as I just did. And now I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the lane change assist for you. Check your spec sheet and make sure your particular Mercedes is equipped for that before you try it on your own. All right, so we're on the freeway. We're going to set the Distronic Adaptive Cruise Control. I'm going to push my on-off button here and then press set, and then increase my speed to freeway speeds. And now we will let the car change lanes for us by signaling, and then it is going to get into the lane. Now you'll notice I just kind of tapped it to signal 3 times. Now at this point I do have my hands off of the wheel and the steering assist is doing its thing, but right there it just told me to put my hands back on the wheel. So it's a strange combination of the autonomous driving just for the lane change part, but then it's like, no, put your hands back on the wheel. But as long as it's clear, there's nobody in my blind spot there, the car will change lanes on its own, and then it will want you to put your hands back on the steering wheel. This function does seem to be of limited use, since ultimately it does not allow for extended periods of hands-free driving, but I'm sure that future versions of Mercedes Distronic adaptive cruise control may become autonomous at some point. Who knows? But anyway, that is how you use the systems in this particular car. If you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'll do the best I can to answer them. And thank you for watching my video. Please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and have a great day. Bye-bye.